Now we are going to be starting with the basis of classification of animal kingdom. First topic that we will be seeing, that is the number of cells. So on the basis of number of cells, we can divide the animal kingdom into two groups, the unicellulars and the multicellulars. Unicellular is made up of a single cell, for example protozoa, and multicellular are made up of many cells, for example metazoa. The unicellular stage of animal kingdom, that is protozoans, they are not only unicellular, they are also eukaryotes, whereas multicellular are also eukaryotes. Normally unicellular are prokaryotes, for example kingdom Monera, but these organisms, the protozoa, they are going to be eukaryotes. Next, on the basis of the cellular organization also, we can divide the whole set of living organism. For example, we know cells can come together to form tissues, tissues comes together to form organs, organs comes together to form organ system, and organ system comes together to form the organism. Now this is what is there in a higher level of animal kingdom, for example the human beings. But what about the organisms that are specifically in the lower category? They can have cellular level only, that is protozoa, they are made up of single cells. They can have loose tissues, for example porifera. They are multicellular, but still the tissues are not so well developed to form the organs. But in the later stage, they can form organs which we call the eumetazoa. The eumetazoa can include all those organisms, if you see over here. So these are the eumetazoa. So it can include all of these organisms, like all these different phylums that we have studied over here. So eumetazoa includes all of them, right? Now they not only have organs, they also have organ systems, some of them, and some of them have many organ systems working together, which we call the human beings or the organisms. These are also organisms, but they have this kind of level of organization. So basically cells or tissue level of organization. But this is how a organism develops. This is how the cells are oriented in a normal organism. But these organisms, they don't have such complex structure, though they are living organism. So these protozoa have cellular level of organization, porifera have tissue level of organization, eumetazoa have organ level of organization, and as we go on, they also have organ systems, and these organ systems can further work together in a complex manner to produce the human beings. Okay, our next topic is about the germ layers. What are germ layers? Now we know during the development of an organism, there are different stages. Like for example, the first stage is zygotic stage, then the blastula, then we have the gastrula. Now obviously we have morula stage also in between, but we are just talking about the overall stages in a very brief way. So zygotic, morula, blastula and gastrula, these are few of the stages, and there are many other stages in between. Now in the last gastrulation stage, the whole of the animal body is divided into many germ layers. These are those 3 germ layers in which they are divided into. These 3 germ layers can give rise to any structure of the living organism. So the first one is endoderm, then mesoderm and the ectoderm. Endoderm is the innermost layer, ectoderm is the outermost layer, mesoderm is the middle layer. So endoderm in the later stages forms the gut, that is the digestive tract. the liver, lungs, etc. Mesoderms forms the skeleton, muscles, kidney, heart, etc. Next, we are going to be seeing the other stages. So basically they are concerned with the you can see the connective tissues, skeleton, heart and blood. These are all connected to the connective tissues, concerned with the connective tissues. And other than that, obviously we have muscles and kidney, which forms the mesoderm, which forms from mesoderm. Ectoderm is the outermost layer. So outermost layer can form the skin and also the nervous system. These are the three germ layers. Now on the basis of absence of mesoderm or presence of mesoderm, we can divide the organisms into two groups, diploblastic and triploblastic. Diploblastic organisms have the three layers like this, but this second layer that we have, which is supposed to be mesoderm, it is not mesoderm in diploblastic organism, rather it is known as mesoglia. In triploblastic organisms, the three germ layers you can see over here is there, as well as the mesoderm is there, no mesoglia is there. Mesoglia is a primitive form of mesoderm. Basically diploblastic are cylinderates. So diploblastic comes only when there are multiple cells. So below that, if we consider these organisms, so if you see over here, these two organisms are not even included in this diploblastic or triploblastic stages. Why? Because they don't even have that kind of cellular organization. We know they don't even have that organs to form the stages. Basically they are even protozoa. So protozoa, mesozoa and parazoa are out of this diploblastic or triploblastic classification. The classification starts from here. Okay, from the eumetazoa. So basically the eumetazoa can be divided into two groups on the basis of diploblastic or triploblastic. So that's how we are studying over here. Now we can see over here that diploblastic organisms have so many layers. This middle layer is mesoglia, whereas triploblastic organisms have also those three layers, but the middle structure is mesoderm. And from platyhelminths to the higher chordates, all are triploblastic. That is, they have three layers in their gastrulation stage, three layers of germ layers. Okay, in between this hollow space is the gut system. Okay, this is the gut. So that's all. In the next class we are going to be continuing with the basis of classification of animal kingdom. So thank you.